Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Usually, Mahmoud and Fawaz just refer to me as Asad, like Brother Asad. This is, I've seen them growing up, and many of the youngsters who are here, I've seen them growing up. Although I don't live in Charlotte, I've seen most of the youngsters growing up because we used to come so often. So, not going to try to bore everybody with a long speech about fundraising or anything like that, but Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu anfiqu mimma razaqnakum min qabli an ya'tiya yawmun la bay'un fihi wa la khullatun wa la shafa'ah wal kafiruna hum adh-dhalimun. Sadaqallahu al-azim. O ye who believe, spend out of the bounties we have provided for you, before the day comes when no bargaining will avail, nor friendship, nor intercession. Those who reject faith, they are the wrongdoers. And in the hadith it says, no day dawns upon Allah's servants without two angels descending onto earth. One of them says, Oh Allah, give recompense to those who give charity. The other says, Oh Allah, give loss to those who withhold charity. So as we know, charity is a very important part in the lives of every single Muslim. That whether it's donating to our masjid, whether it's donating to organizations, or whether it's donating to our local MSA. They have a box over there, so inshallah please support them as well. So what's it called? But it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter who it is. So much so that in the hadith, I'm not going to say the whole hadith, but even putting a bite into your wife's mouth if you're married, obviously, that is considered charity. So small things are considered acts of charity. And there's a famous, it's a joke, right? It's a joke about a sheikh who travels to a village. And when he travels to this village, the local, guy who takes care of the masjid, the president, I guess you can call him at that time, he takes the sheikh home. And when he takes the sheikh home, they bring all of the guests from the masjid and they have food. And then when they're done with the food, the sheikh says, the food was amazing. Can I thank your wife? And so he puts the parda up, the wife comes behind, and the sheikh says, MashaAllah, the rice you cooked was some of the best rice I've ever had. The curry you cooked was some of the best curry I've ever had. The chapati you cooked was some of the best bread I've ever had. And then the woman starts crying, and the sheikh is very concerned. He's like, what did I do? I was saying nice things. The wife says, I've been married for 20 years to this man, he's never once complimented my food, and today you came for the first time and you complimented it. So there was some wisecrack sitting there, and he says, okay, this is a good thing to do. Like, let me go try. This was lunch, so he goes home, sits down to eat dinner. And his wife gives him some curry, she gives him some bread, and he sits down to eat, and when he's done eating, he starts raving about the food. The curry you cooked, it was the best I've ever had in our 10 years of marriage. The chapati you made, the bread you made, it was the best I've ever had. I've never had better food in our marriage. The woman starts crying. And he's like, what did I do now? He says, why are you crying? She says, we've been married for 10 years. You never once complimented my food. Today the neighbor sends the food, you start complimenting it. So be careful when you're trying to earn some of that charity, trying to make your wife smile or be happy with you, make sure she cooks the food. Make sure you're not complimenting the neighbor's food. So we, just a little bit of, we've been, alhamdulillah, listening to some great speeches. I've been in and out. People have been saying, I'm very sorry, but it's just, when you put an event together, I was talking with Ahmed, he's sitting there, I was like, whenever you put an event together, a lot of times it becomes hard to be there the whole time, or sit and listen for the event and benefit from it. And a lot of times, we just make dua when we put events together, that people make dua for us, so that we gain some benefit through their dua. And we were here this morning, I came with my wife, and I keep coming and fixing this because she came with me and she put everything together, Allah reward her. She had a complaint to me. She said, whenever you do an event, I don't get to take any part in it. So I said, okay, that's fine. Next month we have an event, you put the backdrop, everything, you put it together. This is your job. With the kids, we came early in the morning, we left home at 9:30, we got here around 10:30, Brother Adnan was here, he put the chairs together, Brother Sakit came, we put everything together, and she was putting all this together, and she said, you didn't bring me the right supplies and stuff like that. Sometimes the wife will give us a hard time, but we have to accept it, because it's not like we do the best job anyway. Like we don't give the best supplies a lot of times. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And we see the resilience of our brothers and sisters around the world. We see people in Palestine, in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, places like this, where we see families, husbands, wives, taking care of their little children. Although they have nothing to provide them, they don't have even entertainment to provide them, but they try their best. Because what other choice do they have? And they're trying to take care of one another. They're trying to make sure that they're happy with each other, even through these dire circumstances. And we live in the West, even if we live like not a luxurious life, we live in comparison a life of luxury. We have, mashallah, cars which can take us from the masjid to home, to work, so on and so forth. Our brothers and sisters overseas talk about a car, they don't even know about wheelbarrow. We saw the pictures from Palestine where mothers were dragging their children in car seats, tied by pieces of string, and just dragging them across the ground because there was no other way to protect their children. We've heard the stories about fathers going out to getting meals for their children and not coming back because they might have passed away in a drone strike or something. We've heard the stories of a father who went to get his twins' birth certificate, and when he came home, there was no wife and there were no kids. They had all been droned out. We've heard these stories. Now, how can we support our brothers and sisters overseas? This is the question everybody asks. So I'm not doing any hard fundraising. We have our table over here. We have a table over there. If you have cash, you can drop it in the box. We're going to distribute the cash and credit card donations between three areas of need. One is for Gaza relief. The second one is for Lebanon relief, and the third one is for Sudanese refugees. There's a little bit of discussion on that, how many people are in Sudan or not. But we know this much, a lot of people have had to leave Sudan, and they're in countries like Congo and other nearby countries, and they're living in a foreign country, they literally have nothing, they're getting some help. We're trying to provide that help, because these are our brothers and sisters. How can we help them? Can we provide them a meal? If we can, yes. So this is what we're fundraising for 10. And if you want to make a credit card donation, you can come to Brother Ismail. Even the sisters, after the program, after we get done with the next part, you can come to Brother Ismail and he'll take your credit card donation. So just making a small reminder to each and every one of us. Alhamdulillah, we have a very good life, right? Even on a bad day, it's much better than what our brothers and sisters are going through overseas. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with, even if it's that dollar goes a long way overseas. Alhamdulillah, we have many guests here tonight. We have Dr. Azim, he was in Gaza a few months ago. One of the other doctors, Dr. Nabil Rana, he was in Gaza, he just came back last week. We have all of these doctors going from our localities. They're going and they're serving over there. There's another doctor, he's a friend of mine, he wasn't able to make it tonight. His name is Bishop. He goes and he volunteers in the Syrian refugee camps and Palestinian refugee camps in Za'atari and Nafra. If you sit and talk with these brothers for 5 minutes, it will open your eyes, it will open your mind, and it will make you cry. We recently took some ulama overseas, and one of them was Mufti Azimuddin. He runs the Abu Salam Seminary. And when he came back, the stories he told literally broke people. Because we didn't realize how good our lives are. And I won't take any more time. So if you want to make a donation, make a difference in your brothers or sisters' lives, we have the boxes here if you want to drop cash, if you want to make a credit card donation. Inshallah, you can see Brother Ismail after the program. After this, we're going to give a 5-minute break, and then we're going to put the chairs up here and we're going to have a panel discussion. Is that okay if I explain it? Yeah, okay. So we're going to have Dr. Hadi, we're going to have Imam Atif and Sheikh Muhammad, and we're going to have 2 microphones, one for the sisters, one for the brothers. We'll have Brother Mahmoud with the microphone for the brothers and Sister Fariha with the microphone for the sisters. You can ask the questions based on dua. Any question you have based on dua, we'll try to keep it short. We'll give a 5-minute break right now, and then we'll get started up, and then inshallah by like 10:05, what we want to do is we want to fold all the chairs, put them against the wall on both sides, and then we'll have qiyam. We have Dr. Ahmed Arafat coming to do a qiyam for us, so we'll have a qiyam as well. We'll put out the prayer rugs, inshallah. So inshallah, without further ado, inshallah, we'll give a 5-minute break, and then we'll get the chairs up here, and then we'll get started really quickly.